Hey everybody, doing a quick little market update for Bitcoin. So, as far as the investing calendar goes, where we're actually looking for big data points, nothing really crazy coming in tomorrow. We do have 10-year notes and then the FOMC meeting minutes, but these are well after the markets have already opened up, probably around lunchtime, Eastern US. On the Thursday, April 10th, the CPI data is coming in and initial jobless claims. This is going to be huge. This is going to be the pre-market 1 hour before. I actually think we're going to have a little bit of lower volatility right now going into this, which might actually increase going into Thursday, potentially Friday with PPI data there as well. Looking at Bitcoin specifically, on the funding rate, on the long short ratio side, we were up at about 70%. We've now broken back down. We've had a pretty decent bounce, broke about 10% in the last day or so. That's coming back up again as we are going lower. Obviously, we're doing a local little failure, but volatility is definitely slowed down, which is nice to see. A little bit of stabilization, and the VIX is the big one that's been dumping. On the funding rate side, funding rates are still way positive, neutral, almost bearish, I would say. Across the board, nothing super attractive as far as like entering new longs, and we're probably seeing quite a bit of pressure back to the downside. On the liquidation side, locally, I mean, nothing really to say other than the big stuff, higher time frame is all at 85K and above, and then above that. But really local, because that's all we really care about right now. We do have some pretty nice stuff at the lows, just in the last 48 hours as well. And we're resting on some nice little stuff, some things right here. Actually, it's quite low volatility. If we do happen to break this low here, what is this called? 78.8. Basically where we're resting now, if we do break that, it'll be a localized low time frame failure, and we should be targeting something like 77.5, sweeping some of this local liquidation levels to potentially come all the way back down and retest the lows. Any new gains on the highs are actually pretty clean as well. If we come back above 80.5, I would expect a move higher into the low 80s to retest stuff. But we are just in the bounce. We're kind of recovering from the big dumps yesterday, and we'll see how the market turns. On the limit orders, so like this is the resting order heat map. This is what I saw that was interesting. We have a huge block of about 100 million. This is all controlled demolition, really, from about 80.1 down to 79.5. So nice little $100 million short block, kind of forcing price lower at the moment. I would expect this to act as a bumper pushing price lower until we actually, get this removed. So watch this intently. If they do actually pull these orders, I think there should be some release to go back higher. But for right now, there is some forced pressure back to the downside, potentially down to 78K. I mean, it's very local, and potentially lower, which is a bit less of a resting limit orders. There are some stuff building up here again now by 76 as well, which I do find interesting because that would start to break some structure. Just like where we are now, we're kind of holding on to the lows we've technically already lost. So we're looking for this to kind of stand as a block to force price lower locally until this is either pulled or gained through. So we want to see gains above 80K before we really start getting kind of bullish here. Just some downside pressure, lower volatility with the VIX coming down as well. So potentially some relief across the markets. But as long as this block is in place, it's going to hold Bitcoin down. That being said, looking at the chart, so big things from yesterday to today. We did have the big spike up that retested very, very, very weakly on previous low structure on the 4 hour. We've had some nice bouncing moves back to the upside. We've not gained anything back, not of any measure. We still have levels to hold here, down at 78.5, down towards 78K, just with that weekly open being pretty nicely in the middle of the range. If we do have failures that go below this, I would expect price to come back down potentially to the lows at 75.1. And if we look lower time frame, yeah, we're starting to fail on the 1 hour and stuff. We've made a lower high, now we've made a lower low, and we're failing the daily open. So if we do have a quick regain here, I want to see some tests in the highs, but then probably like we saw there with the big resting orders that are holding us down currently, I still want some downside pressure. Loss of the weekly open will force a retest on the 1 hour down to this structure. So if you do lose the weekly at 78.5, you are looking at 77.4 at least, and potentially lower back into the absolute lows, around about 75, 75.5. So for right now, it looks okay. You've got some resistance holding you down at the daily open. The VIX and a lot of high volatility measurements are coming back down. So if we do get some release, you want to see some higher lows. You want to see those big limit orders that as we saw on the Kayotaka chart to start getting pulled, and then maybe some relief bouncing back to test highs. But you did just close low below previous highs. So if you're going to start that kind of down move, you're looking to potentially swing fail until you create a new high here. The big thing here across the board is very simple. You've broken down and made new lows. We've bounced at significant structure. We definitely have stuff we can test much lower, but we want some stability right now. We want some, the high volatility move and the big bounce that we saw yesterday. We want some stabilization and start to form out some structure. The more we can start forming out structure, the better chance we have of actually building our way out of this move. So for the time being, I think we're looking okay for a little bit more like calmer market stability going into Thursday, where pre-market with the CPI data coming out and the initial jobless claims, I'm expecting that to increase pretty effectively. So all that being said, watch the markets. It's going to be probably a little bit more slow going today than it was yesterday. You are seeing some localized failures. You can invalidate that very quickly by regaining the level that you're locally losing, which is the daily open at 79.1. Until then, watch it if you get some continuation failures, especially at the weekly, to come back down to retest previous lows. And then you get some nice stuff all the way down at the bottom, including some local liquidations. But until then, play the levels pretty tightly. It does not seem like a high time frame area yet until we start seeing some massive daily and weekly bullish divergences on a lot of metrics. So that's it. Take it easy and catch you tomorrow.